The latest entrants into the men's and women's elimination chamber matches were determined last night on Raw at the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. Who joined Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, and LA Knight on the men's side? And which competitor joined Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, and Alexa Bliss for the women's match? Find out now with this recap of last night's Raw, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Hey there, welcome everybody to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and Streamy.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher and the Phenom, Michael Bullock. Monday Night Raw last night from the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee, the home of the NBA's Memphis Grizzlies. And we started the show, well, of course, we actually had a rare 2-for-1 deal here. The Vision interrupted the Usos' entrance, frustrated over Austin Theory's main event loss last week. Raw General Manager Adam Pearce announced Bronson Reed would compete in an Elimination Chamber qualifying match next week. And then LA Knight's arrival led to an obligatory 6-man tag team match to open the show. The opening segment of last night's show felt forced. The Vision and the Usos were conveniently in the same place at the same time, despite no meaningful interaction in recent weeks. LA Knight interrupting Adam Pearce and talking trash on the Vision was fun and led to the underrated usage of turd stain as an insult. Still, it felt like a classic pro wrestling setup rather than organic storytelling. And not really much more to say on that. That's in regards to the opening promo. It sets up 6-man tag team action. LA Knight teaming up with the World Tag Team Champions, the Usos. They squared off against the Vision, and the Vision wins the match in 12 minutes and 10 seconds. Bronson Reed was the star here, wiping out all of the competition in the closing moments of the match. Dominant in a good, energetic opener. A much-needed injection of momentum for the Vision in the wake of Braun Breaker's absence due to hernia surgery. Red-hot crowd hung on every moment of the night's opening match, rooting on LA Knight as he found himself isolated from his partners. But then it was the masked man, the mystery man. He spoils the victory by delivering a stomp to Logan Paul onto the announce table before taking off into the crowd. 3.25 to 3.5 stars. And that's all I can honestly say here. So MF, started with you here. Well, continue on with you here. Come on in here. Vision defeating the Usos and LA Knight, 6-man tag team action. 12 minutes and 10 seconds. They got the win, but the mystery man strikes again.
And you've noticed, Anthony, how in this with everything that's been going on, you noticed something here. It's a trend. Think about it. Braun Breaker got caught by the mystery man at the Royal Rumble. Then Austin Theory got caught by the mystery man. The mystery man also took out, if you remember, the mystery man also took out Logan Paul last night. He has not taken down Bronson Reed yet. And as a matter of fact, Bronson has been the only one that hasn't been taken out up to this point. Is this somebody who may know Bronson? Or is Bronson the next on the dish maybe next week? And then that takes all the Vision out. But whatever the case may be, we don't know who did this. We're still trying to figure it out. And now more questions than answers. But 3.25, 3.5, I totally agree. Michael Bullock, is yours.
Yeah, 3.25, 3.5. Like you said, I mean, that's the $1 million question: is who is this mystery person that? I mean, like you said, he's taken taking out Braun Breaker. He's taking out Austin Theory. He's taking out Logan Paul. Could Bronson Reed be next? I mean, everybody's going to keep talking about this until we find out who it is. Who is this mystery person? Only time will tell, but a great matchup. But like you said, the Vision wins, but the mystery man strikes again. So we'll see what happens. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Florio.
All right. Okay, now, all right. A lot of things, a lot of backstage stuff, but something very interesting that caught our eye. Adam Pearce asked a production staffer about a large crate that bore the words "Deliver to WWE. Do not open until 2/28/26." The man didn't know where it came from. Pearce made sure it was not addressed to him, and then told the staffer, have Nick Aldis deal with it by having that same crate sent to SmackDown on Friday night. Well, you could brace yourselves for nearly a couple weeks of perhaps gobbledygooker jokes, Chris Jericho speculation, a whole lot more. But either way, it's a fun hook for the Elimination Chamber. No question about that. That's a hook for the pay-per-view. And speaking of the Elimination Chamber, this is our first qualifier. Women's qualifying match. Asuka versus Bayley versus Natty. Winner of the match. 10.5 minutes. That's 10 minutes and 30 seconds. And the latest to qualify for the Women's Elimination Chamber match. It is the Empress of Tomorrow. It is Asuka. Asuka wins it in 10.5 minutes. So MF, Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss. Now you can add Asuka to that mix. Oh boy, they're pulling out all the stops for this. And then we'll see who comes down on top on Friday night. But MF, Stratton, Ripley, Bliss, Asuka. Whoa.
We already are talking about possibly this being set up as possibly the greatest lineup we've ever had in professional wrestling. Like, this is without a doubt possibly the greatest lineup we've ever had. And yeah, I totally agree with everything you just said there, Anthony. This is exactly what we were hoping for. This was exactly what we thought. Asuka winning was no big surprise in my mind. She is without a doubt one of the biggest names in WWE right now, and she deserves the spot. She does. And now we got to wait to see how this plays out down the line and who's going to be the next big player. But I'll say this, it's setting up to be an epic Elimination Chamber match. Another 3-star bout. Nothing more to say. And yeah, Michael Bullock, it is yours.
Well, you just said this is definitely setting up to be one of the greatest women's Elimination Chamber match since the women have been added to the whole Elimination Chamber. I mean, you got Tiffany Stratton, you got Rhea Ripley. Now you can add Asuka to it. I mean, man, this is all
Alexa Bliss as well.
And Alexa Bliss. I mean, you got those 4, and we still got 2 more to go. I mean, I'm interested to see what happens with these final 2 to see who gets in it. But either way, you're looking at, I mean, the names that we just mentioned. This is setting up to be something really good. So yeah, 3 stars. I do agree with that rating. So Florio, I mean, I think this is setting up to be one of the greatest women's Elimination Chamber matches ever. I mean, with the 4 that you already have, with 2 spots left to go, Who knows who will also be added to it?
I'm already gonna go. I'm gonna make a bold prediction right now, although this might not be a bold prediction, but I believe Friday night we're gonna add the Queen to that. Am I right on that?
I would venture a guess, and I would say it's safe. I would be safe to say that yes, I think Charlotte goes through. Yes.
I'd make it unanimous as well.
And then next week, I know that Raw will have one more qualifier next week,
Yeah.
and it's going to be Io Sky, Raquel Rodriguez, Kyrie Zane. I think it's safe to say the genius of the Sky is moving on.
Io's got to be in there.
I don't know, Anthony. I would. You know what? Just for the hell of it, I'm actually going to call audible and say Kyrie Zane goes through.
Okay.
Because I want to see the breakup of the Kabuki Warriors. And I think this may be the moment where Kyrie has enough, explodes on Asuka, and causes Asuka to be eliminated.
That's right. I completely
Could
forgot
happen.
about that because remember when they showed backstage with those being carried after the Royal Rumble match, what did Asuka do?
Well,
She pushed. I mean, Kyrie Sane was trying to get on the golf cart with Asuka, and Asuka pushed her off. And
yeah.
Asuka literally told the driver to just start driving. Don't
Well,
think for a minute that Kyrie Sane has forgotten about it.
I think Kyrie she's going to get to a point where she's going to have enough of Asuka's bullying, and she's
especially
going to
especially with those
snap.
yells, especially with those Kyrie yells.
So it's going to get to a moment where Kyrie is going to explode, and Asuka, you may have created a monster that you may not wanted it to create.
You may have started something that you might not be able to finish.
Yeah.
This is one that I think you should have just left alone and treated Kyrie with respect. But after what you did, not just with the Kyrie chant, but what you did backstage at the Royal Rumble.
There has to be a point where enough is enough. Yeah.
The ice is
somewhere
about
in
to
that
break.
mind of Kyrie saying it's going to be like, somebody's probably going to say, when are you going to literally stand up to Asuka and say,
I think that would be Io. Io would be the one. Because Io is
was the one
wicked
that
tight with Kyrie, and you can tell Io wanted it to say something, and you can even tell that she was trying to go there.
But then you hear that Kyrie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Fletcher makes a good point here.
He does indeed. He does indeed.
Even though it would be no big surprise if
Io.
If Io wins,
Io
but
goes through,
watch out
because
for Kyrie
obviously
Sane.
you want to make the most star-studded lineup ever, but I would like to see Kyrie get through. I like for her to get
start the
through.
breakup of the Kabuki Warriors.
Yes.
We shall see. It's very possible.
We'll find out come next week.
We shall. And it might feel, and you know what? It might feel predictable to have the favorites win the qualifiers, but it's leading to some loaded elimination chamber matches on both sides.
Yes.
So that might be the only constructive criticism about that, but who cares? I mean, as long as we get something awesome. I mean, the elimination chamber has given us some of the most exciting moments since the concept at the 2002 Survivor Series. So we have seen memorable moments, insane bumps, maybe the most insane bumps you'll ever see in any match. And my God, that's going to be something. Anyways, my thoughts on this, 3 to 3.25. Bayley not feeling more important is an indictment of WWE Creative. And Asuka won, which was a pleasant surprise given her recent booking. A strong action-packed match saw Natty unleash her newfound aggression while Bayley and Asuka relied on timing to counter. And that's all That's all there is to say there. So, like I said, a strong
and
action-packed
don't
match. It's
forget,
about 3 to 3 1/4.
and don't forget,
And
Florio, after the match was over, Maxine attacked Natty.
Maxine
So
attacked Natty. Yes.
so
So
that
that feud
rivalry
must
is far
continue.
from over.
That feud must and will continue. So, okay, now, um, there was a pre-taped sit-down interview with Michael Cole, Stephanie Vaquer. She
It was
got to Liv
actually
Morgan
just
so
it was
much.
actually just Liv Morgan.
Yeah, Liv Morgan was going to have a sit-down interview with Michael Cole. Dominic Mysterio came in, and then Stephanie Vaquer comes in, and she goes off in Spanish. And and you know me, I do investigative reporting, and MF. Normally, I would rely on you for the Spanish translation, but
They already
no need to
provided.
fear. I
Yeah,
found
you
Yeah,
have it.
a lot of websites already provided what she said in
it.
Spanish.
This is what Stephanie said during this, and I quote: "You talking about hard work? What the hell are you talking about? You haven't sacrificed anything. WWE has handed you everything. You started your career here. You have the best doctors, the best trainers, you have everything. You want to talk about sacrifice? I was born in Chile, where wrestling doesn't exist, and still traveled the world, Japan, Mexico, Latin America, Europe, conquered everything. You should be ashamed in hiding behind Judgment Day. By hiding behind a man. You need to hide behind a man. But I'll tell you something. I went through hell and made it mine just to make it to WWE and become champion. This championship means more to me than just the title. It's for all the little girls and women that have not had that opportunity but still succeeded. Liv, if you choose me, you will not win because I will show you what a real champion is." End quote.
Wow. All I can say is, damn, La Primera, tell us how you really feel.
This got
Did they
her
cover that
in
in that?
big trouble last
And
night.
I heard about that. And yeah, and basically this was all about remember that comment when she made about a lot of heat with that whole thing. And oh, I had it for a second with she did issue an apology. She said, let me see if I can find it. Oh, today I made a mistake when I said wrestling doesn't exist in Chile. It does exist, and we have excellent wrestlers and a great deal of talent. What I meant to say is that it didn't exist when I immigrated from my country. At that time, professional wrestling wasn't developed in Chile. It was a slip of the tongue on live television. I sincerely apologize and send a huge hug to all the Chilean wrestlers who, through hard work and dedication, have made wrestling in Chile a reality today. My respect and sincere apologies.
But it's not only that.
Was it something
But
else?
it's not only that. Particular wrestlers are attacking Stephanie Vaquer for her comments on Liv Morgan. To say that she... Huh?
Yeah, because you saw she started to break down and cry.
But it wasn't that. It's because of what she said about her sacrifice that she had all this. Big E, of all people, went after Stephanie Vaquer and like, you're in the wrong. That she is training. She trained in the Hart family dungeon with Natty, with TJ. And as far as all that stuff goes, she's been through injuries. She's had setbacks. She's had everything that's been taken away from her. And that's where the line was drawn. The comments and this is according to Big E, was insensitive and wrong.
What are your thoughts on this, Fletch? I mean, that's your girl.
Okay. I love the passion. She was right to a certain degree, but she was wrong. And I have to call her out on this. Because, again, Liv Morgan, you can say whatever you want to say about her, her trajectory, her whatever, the road she went through. What Stephanie cannot capsulize, and I think this is why she got herself in big time trouble, is because of those comments. To say that you didn't earn the right, that that you basically got it on a silver platter. That's not true. She worked her heart out. She worked everything to get there. And remember, she came back just about a year ago from an injury, a major injury. So I think it was foolishness and downright wrong what Stephanie said. Even though for a lot of she's saying was true. Her hiding behind the Judgment Day, accurate. Her hiding behind Dominic, accurate. But when she talks about that she was the WWE machine, that's where the problem lies. So about 50% of what she said is correct, but 50% of it was wrong. And I'm not going to talk about the fact that, because there's some people out there that took this way too far. I'm not going there. I'm not going there because there was some other stuff that came out that was pointless. We don't need to go there. Big E's criticism was fair. My criticism, I think it's fair because of the fact that Liv worked her tail off to get where she is today. It wasn't that she rode the coattails of WWE. She did not.
No.
She earned it. Blood, sweat, and tears. She earned the right. No, wait. She earned the right when she won the Money in the Bank. She earned the right when she became the Women's World Champion. And remember, it was Rhea Ripley that cost her career.
That's right.
And you could question some of the things that Liv has done, especially since she became a not so nice woman.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
her.
question some of that, like
you can
basically putting Rhea Ripley on the shelf, and even costing John Cena the Intercontinental Championship. You could say all those things, but it doesn't excuse. I mean, the hard work that she did to get to where she is today.
Doesn't get any harder than the Hart Family Dungeon.
Mean,
I'll tell
she
you that
started,
right
now. And this is where I come in with NXT.
Yes,
It started with NXT. I mean, and then she goes to the main roster as part of the Riot Squad.
Yep.
And then she makes it out on her own. Yes, it was a little bit of a slow start, but she improved as time went on.
Leaps and bounds.
So,
Stephanie,
like you said, Fletch, 50% of what Stephanie Vaquer said was true.
Agreed.
But the other 50%, that was
out of bounds.
That was totally out of bounds.
I will say this. If you were looking to pick a fight with Liv Morgan, that was the wrong thing to do. Because now
she may
you opened up a Pandora's box, and I mean this with all the sincerity and the realness of the situation. You are going to lose your title at WrestleMania.
Agreed.
I second that. I mean, I think you just made Stephanie Vaquer, you just made Liv Morgan make her choice. Even though she didn't announce it, I think it's only a matter of time.
Yeah. Not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time when Liv Morgan chooses Stephanie Vauquer to challenge her for the women's world title at WrestleMania.
At WrestleMania, yes, I
and
agree.
That's and I agree. And I'm gonna go on the record, like you also said, Liv's walking away with that belt.
She is.
So yeah. So
we can move
50%
on,
of it-
Florio. I got nothing more to say.
So yeah, 50% of it, what Stephanie Vauquer said was true, but the other 50,
Out of
nah,
bounds.
honey, no. You were
Out
out
of
of
bounds.
bounds. I mean, like I said, say what you want. I mean, Liv Morgan has done some shady things,
She has.
but you can't underestimate the hard work she did to get to where she is today.
That's right.
Need I say more?
No. Let's get going here, guys. All right. Then we had another promo segment here. Let's see. CM Punk hit the ring to discuss his upcoming defense against Finn. His upcoming title defenses. First against Finn Balor at Elimination Chamber, and then Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. He said the office was not happy with him for jeopardizing the biggest WrestleMania main event ever, as Michael Cole repeatedly referred to it as on commentary before Finn Balor interrupted. Dominic Mysterio and the returning JD McDonough flanked Finn Balor, who claimed he was the best in the world because he learned in dojos from luchadors and knew European catch wrestling. Punk disagreed and again asked his Elimination Chamber opponent who he wants to be remembered as. Michael Cole asked if it awakened something in him that had laid dormant for too long. Nice cliffhanger call by Michael Cole in conclusion to a segment enhanced by the world champ's involvement. So, Punk, Punk said, I don't think you people would love me if I didn't do and say things that piss people off. And JD McDonough returning to Raw for the first time since November the 24th of 2025. That was the go-home show for Survivor Series. And CM Punk planted the seeds for the overdue Judgment Day Finn Balor split. So those are some notable things. So we don't really need to get into that. So number one contender match for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. El Grande Americano versus, well, they didn't announce it beforehand, but they did announce it was Penta. And Penta wins the match 10 minutes and 35 seconds. So, Michael Bullock, Penta, the number one contender, he will get a shot at Dominic Mysterio in the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship down the line. He defeats El Grande Americano in 10:35 thanks to the OG El Grande Americano, Chad Gable. Excuse me. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think the three of us already know that. So, need I say more? So, yeah. I'm gonna give this about another 3.25, teetering on 3.5. I mean, obviously, this was the right outcome because, like you said, they are teasing a OG El Grande Americano against the other El Grande Americano somewhere down the line, and it really doesn't need the Intercontinental Championship. So, yeah, Penta now gets his opportunity at Dominic Mysterio. Who knows when? So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So it's yours, Florio.
Yeah, 3.25 to 3.5 for the effort here. Penta and Dominic Mysterio fighting over the IC title on the road to WrestleMania in Las Vegas. WWE really is running it back this year. And backstage, Finn Balor implored JD McDonough to let him face CM Punk alone. Solid match here. Good, albeit overbooked match. We'll put it that way. This was about 3 to 3.25 once again. They got the outcome right, and I do believe this is finally whenever they decide to do it. It could be Mania. It could be before then. I don't know. We'll see. But whenever that match takes place, I got this feeling this is where Penta finally gets his shining moment. I know a lot of people have been wanting to see him get a big moment here. Don't get any bigger than winning the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. No, it doesn't. So not much more. 3-3.25. Good, albeit overbooked match. So MF Penta wins in 10:35. He gets the next shot at Dom. Could be on a future Raw. Could even be at Mania for all we know.
Yeah. We're gonna have to wait and see how it plays out, but no doubt about it. I think this is gonna be a very interesting situation. I kind of want to see how it plays out, but Penta, I don't know, man. I kind of feel like it can go either way. That honestly, truthfully, I don't know. But yeah, um, with Penta winning, he gets a shot at Dom. I don't know. I kind of feel like it's gonna be Ballard that unseats uh Dominic at the title, because I do believe it. Yeah, he'd probably be the one to win it. So I don't know. I kind of partially disagree with your theory, Anthony. Not yet. I do believe Penta eventually will win a title. I just don't think it's going to be this one. So we'll see. But there's really nothing more to add. So, Bullock, it's yours.
Bullock actually
Yeah,
started.
I was going to say I actually let off on it.
Yep. So, all right. Let's see here. Okay. AJ Lee hit the ring to discuss her upcoming match with Becky Lynch at Elimination Chamber. She called out big time Bex and the Women's Intercontinental Champion obliged. Lynch announced the idea of Lee becoming a champion again and vowed to defeat her in Chicago. Lee dared Becky to join her in the ring, even offering her the first shot, but Becky chickened out, leaving an arena full of fans in Memphis jeering the man. Let's see what else here. AJ said there was a women's division before AJ Lee, and there was a women's division after AJ Lee, and that was my gift to all of you. AJ name dropped Lyra Valkyria, Bayley, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and the Kabuki Warriors as potential opponents. Every last one of those must happen now. Becky Lynch is the greatest of all time, and her willingness to look like a fool for the sake of the story is as significant a reason as why, or as any. Interesting segment that did not further the feud, but also did not feel like a total waste either, thanks to the content of the women's performances. And a funny commentary moment for myself and MF. We had a callback to the infamous Rock and Goldberg moment from that Monday Night Raw, April of 2003 in Milwaukee, where I could have sworn I heard Becky Lynch say, nah. And I'm like, and then I threw it out there. And MF could not believe when I did it. When Becky did the nah, I'm like, nah, Becky, do you have the case of the limber tail or something? Yeah, and then MF, did he go off saying, are you questioning Becky's integrity? And MF just absolutely went off in a heel commentary moment with that nice throwback to the Rock and Goldberg from all those years ago. But anyways, let's move on here. I do believe this is where we get to our main event of the evening. But before we do that, of course, we got to take care of the house cleaning here. The set the table for next week's Go Home show in Atlanta, which will be at the Phillips Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. And all right, of course, we have the two qualifying matches. We talked about that women's one from earlier, where it'll be Io Sky, Kairi Sane, and Raquel Rodriguez. On the men's side, let's see. On the men's side, it will be Big Bronson Reed, main event Jey Uso, and the original El Grande Americano to round it out for the men's side. And then on top of those two qualifiers, there will be a special tribute, a special farewell tribute to the phenomenal AJ Styles. That is Man, I will tell you that there ain't going to be no dry eye in the house on that one. No doubt about it. Main event of the evening, men's elimination chamber qualifier. Javon Evans versus Gunther versus Dominic Mysterio. The time of the fall, 14 minutes and 40 seconds. I know there's a lot of you saying, oh, Gunther won this one going away. Oh, no, he did not. Dragon Lee sticks it to Gunther, and the winner of the match in 14 minutes and 40 seconds, your boy is Bouncy. Javon Evans wins the match. Javon Evans is going to the Elimination Chamber. This 21-year-old phenom, no pun intended, Bullock, he is on his way. But, whoa, okay. We talked about the favorites winning practically every one of these. Gunther was the odds-on favorite in this one. We all know that. But Javon Evans, wow. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. Javon Evans is going to be wowing audiences for the next decade with his aerial offense. After retiring Bill Goldberg, John Cena, and AJ Styles, a feud with Dragon Lee feels like a step back for Gunther, even if it is intended to elevate the luchador. I think there's more than that meets the eye. Rey Mysterio. I think Rey Mysterio could end up being on Gunther's radar. The career killer, right? Rey's not getting any younger. He's 51 years old. And I wouldn't be surprised if Rey ends up being the next one on Gunther's career killer list. Just some food for thought. And a huge win for Javon Evans that hopefully is a building block rather than a brief flirtation with bigger things, a la Montez Ford from a few years back. And I tell you what, this was definitely the fight of the night here. This was 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. Surprise outcome. I honestly thought Gunther was going to win it, honest to goodness, but Javon, oh my God. Can you imagine what Javon Evans is going to be capable of inside the Elimination Chamber? Whoa. So now we got Randy Orton, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, and now Javon Evans. Wow. Oh my goodness. That is going to be something. 3.5, 3 3/4, MF. I know everybody was saying, oh, it's Gunther, it's Gunther, it's Gunther. No. The young OG, Javon Evans. He wins it in 1440. Can you picture Javon Evans inside the chamber?
Dude, it's gonna be wild. And yeah, you want to talk about upsets? This was it, the biggest upset, and yeah, the biggest stunner. Because I don't think none of us had this on the I don't think none of us had this on the bingo card that Javon Evans was going to the Elimination Chamber, but he is, and good for him. Big win, and now he's going for an even bigger win. We'll see how that plays out, but yeah, heck of a moment for him, and we'll see how it plays out. 3.25, 3.5, nothing more to say. And Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, 3.5, 3 3/4. This was definitely the fight of the night, and yeah, nobody had Javon Evans winning on their bingo card, because when we first heard of this match, we were all thinking, "Oh, it's Gunther," because there's no way Dom and especially Javon Evans can hang around with him. But that was until Dragon Lee decided to get involved and get his little payback from what happened weeks ago, when Gunther literally put him to sleep. And yeah, Dragon Lee got his little payback. So the biggest win for Javon Evans, could it lead to something bigger? Who knows? So, but either way, it's the biggest win for him since joining the main roster. He's going to the Elimination Chamber, and with the agility that he brings, oh my goodness, I can't imagine what he's going to do inside that chamber. So, nothing more to say. let's get on to overall thoughts, Florio.
MF starts it off, and a word of warning: when we get to that chamber match, I expect MF to be screaming out, "Look at this!" quite a few times. So
Yeah, I
already
think
I can
yeah,
feel it.
you're definitely gonna get it. No doubt about it. At the end, I think they did a really good job with it. This was a solid, Monday Night Raw. 7.5 out of 10 is my ratings, and I don't think there's really much for us to say here. So yeah, so there's really nothing more to add. And Michael Bullock, it is all yours.
Yes, 7.5 out of 10 for me. I mean, it was a good show. I mean, it definitely could have been better in some spots, but yeah, I mean, I thought there really wasn't that much to complain about. I mean, so Florio, let's get your thoughts before we get into NXT.
Yeah, around that 7.5 threshold. More effort has gone into the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view than into the Royal Rumble, with compelling rivalries and big-time matchups set to unfold in Chicago on the 28th. CM Punk versus Finn Balor feels like a big deal, and the most significant thing that that Balor has been involved in for a while, and that was emphasized in Monday's promo. The qualifying matches were fun and had surprising outcomes, none bigger than Javon Evans, who has already had a momentous 2026 with his Iron Man performance in the men's Royal Rumble match and this latest win. The vision feels less important now than at any other point in its existence, and the Liv Morgan, Stephanie Vaquer story is not quite hitting on all cylinders, but the Americano feud is mindless fun. Solid show that was not quite as good as the last few, but it still tops anything produced by WWE right now. 7.5 for me. So let's get into tonight's edition of NXT. And one of the things that NXT does that I like is we start with action. We don't really start with the elongated those elongated talking segments or revolving door segments or any of that stuff. We started it off with a match, and we started off with a good one. Lola Vice squaring off against Kalani Jordan, and Kalani Jordan wins the match in 11 minutes and 40 seconds. Yeah, 3.25, 3.5 stars. This feud has turned very personal in recent weeks, and they did a good job portraying that with how aggressive both women were being. Lola was selling an injured hand, so Kalani was able to take advantage of that to neutralize some of her striking offense. Lola did a good job making it look like her hand was causing her a lot of pain. The injury became the focal point of this bout for a long time. They didn't do anything too exciting in this bout, and the pace felt a bit slow in places, but they did a good job telling the story they wanted to tell. And Kalani with the win via submission, a very unique submission, no less. So I'll give this right around 3.25, teetering on 3.5. So not much more. MF, Kalani Jordan defeating Lola Vice via submission in 11:40 to kick off NXT.
Yeah, 3.25 is my rating. I thought they did a fine job. I think it was fine for what it was worth. It was a solid action. Outcome was probably never in doubt because, like you said, they were trying to sell the injury more than anything else. So I'm good with it. And Bullock, it's yours.
3.25, 3.5. I mean, like you said, I mean, they're selling the injury with Lola Vice and Kalani Jordan, of course, showing that ruthless side that yeah. In the beginning, she was a pretty girl with who was nice. We that nice girl is gone. She's not gonna take any crap from anybody, especially from the NXT universe. So you mess with Kalani Jordan, yeah, good luck with that. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Florio.
All right. Ricky Saints was walking in the parking lot. NXT champion Joe Henry jumped him. The fight was broken up by security almost immediately. When the show returned from the break, Henry came to the ring and called out Ricky Saints for a fight. Saints appeared in the crow's nest and said seeing Henry with the title makes him sick. He said Henry is just a gimmick and he sees right through it. They talked some trash back and forth until Ricky Saints proposed an NXT championship match at the next premium live event, Vengeance Day, which will take place on Saturday night, March the 7th. This is news to us. Standard copy and paste talking segment to set up a title match, but they did a good job with what they had, and Ricky definitely stood out a bit more for some of his lines, and that's really all there is to say there. So apparently we have a pay-per-view event, or PLE, or whatever you want to call it, Vengeance Day, March 7th. We'll try to get more information on that as soon as we get it. But one thing is for sure, we have our main event. It will be Joe Hendry defending the NXT Championship against Ricky Saints. What a matchup that's going to be. Let's see. Moving on. Tony D'Angelo squaring off against Cutler James of Dark State. Tony D wins the match, 1 minute and 20 seconds. We're not going to waste any time on that. It was highly physical. It was a highly physical fight right out of the gate, but Tony D got the win in just a couple of minutes, but everything they did in those couple of minutes looked good. Dion Lennox attacked after it was over, but he got the better of Dark State, used the steel steps to inflict some extra damage. If they had a few more minutes, this match could have been one of the highlights of the week, but it is what it is. So, yeah, bless you there.
And you're sorry.
Yep, no worries. Let's see, where do we, what's up next? All right. We will get into this, though. Fatal 4-Way, #1 contenders match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. The Calling, Sean Spears and Nico Vance versus Hank and Tank versus the Vanity Project, Ricky Smokes and Brad Baylor. They had the Evolve Men's Champion, Jackson Drake, in their corner. And versus Out the Mud, Bronco Nima, Lucian Price. Winners of the match in 11 minutes and 32 seconds, and the #1 contenders for the NXT Tag Team Championship, the Vanity Project. What? Okay. Brad Baylor, Ricky Smokes, they steal it. They win the match. And next week on NXT, they will challenge Dark State for the NXT Tag Team Championship. So we could have the classic stable with all the gold moment with Jackson Drake holding that men's Evolve title. Stokes and Baylor could add the NXT Tag Team titles to the Vanity Project. So not much more. MF, whether you like the guys or not, and I'll be honest, I'm not really fans of these guys. They kind of remind me of Everrise. I mean, I get that feeling of those
don't
guys.
Get me
all
going
over
on
again.
Everrise.
Yeah, they remind me a lot of them. But in all honesty, I think they're a little more annoying than those guys were.
Mm-hmm.
But when they repackaged those guys in AEW, they slowly won me over. But it's going to take a long time for these ham and eggers. But Vanity Project winning 11:32. But MF, next week, they get the shot at Dark State. Oh, that's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see how this plays out. But yeah, you're absolutely right. This is wild. This is insane. They get the shot at the title, and we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, there's really nothing more to add. You pretty much touched on it, Florio. So, yeah, maybe three stars. Nothing more to say. And Michael Bullock is yours.
Yeah, 3.25, and I'm with you, Florio. I don't like these guys. I mean, they, like you said, they remind me of Everrise, and nothing more than a bunch of pretty boy ham and egger jabronis that really just annoys the living daylights out of me. I mean, but we'll see what happens next week. So yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to add on to it. So it's yours, Florio.
Yeah, it was chaotic, but in a good way. It was pretty easy to follow who was legal. It was pretty easy to follow who was legal at any given time, and all four teams played different roles at different times. They managed to mix in some funny moments while still keeping the action entertaining. NXT has a decent tag team division right now, and this match helped highlight how different each team is. Baylor and Smokes literally look like children next to Nima and Price. That is how big the size difference is. And it must be scary to look up and see a guy the size of Tank doing a slingshot splash over the top rope onto you. The double choke slam from OTM to swipe right was a fun spot. And the four-way superplex spot was awesome. But it would have been even more so if they timed them all at the same time. So 3 1/4, 3 1/2. Not much more. Before we get to Fatal Influence here, there was a backstage moment. Zarya went off on Sol Ruka, said their friendship was over after Sol ended up getting the women's title shot last week. And then after the break, Fatal Influence came to the ring. The women's champion, Jacy Jayne, said she is actually looking forward to facing Sol Ruka for the title, and said she was a little jealous of Ruka because the crowd loves her more. Jacy complained about how Ruka keeps upstaging her and said WWE has been shoving her down everyone's throat. She also mocked Ruka and Zarya's personal issues, which brought Sol out to respond. They traded insults before Fatal Influence beat her down. Zarya came out and took out all 3 members of the group before offering her hand to Sol and hugging her. WWE keeps delaying the inevitable breakup of Sol Ruka and Zarya, but this segment was good as a whole. Jacy gave a strong promo, even if most of it was stuff we've heard before, on and on and on and on. And next week, Sol Ruka, Jacy Jayne for the NXT Women's Championship. I think this is where we're going to get the implosion of Zaruka. I think this is where the ice is going to break right here. So we shall see. So we're not going to really waste any time on that. Speed tournament final match. Elio LaFleur versus Eli Knight. A time limit draw, guys. We had ourselves a time limit draw. But then, interim general manager, Robert Stone, Mr. Stone, whatever you want to call him, he comes out and, oh boy, does he shake it up here. Triple threat match next week. Elio LaFleur and Eli Knight will both challenge Jasper Troy for the men's speed championship next week. Oh, by the way, on top of that, he even invoked a 7-minute time limit for that match next week.
That is what we need. More time. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Stone. Say what you want about the guy, but he's holding his own, and he's still a work in progress. But if he keeps making good matches like this and tones down his antics, who knows? Maybe down the line that interim tag might get removed. You never know. But it's a wait and see on that. But I definitely agree with the decision there. So Jasper Troy, Elio LaFleur, Eli Knight, 7-minute time limit next week. Triple threat for the men's speed championship. And then Robert Stone mentioned about a women's speed tournament. And next week, Blake Monroe is going to go one-on-one with Thea Hale. We already know how that's going to work out. We know that story.
And also something came out of that too. And an unfortunate news that we heard.
Unfortunate news. Blake Monroe was going on and complaining about Jada Parker. Robert Stone at first said that she was suspended, but then he said that that Jada Parker suffered a neck injury, and Jada Parker is going to be out indefinitely. Oh my God, poor girl can't catch a break, man.
I was just about to say that poor woman can't even catch a break. I mean, she just got back, and just like that, an injury puts her back on the shelf.
Yeah, it's a damn shame, man. Damn shame.
I mean, I keep waiting for her to finally get elevated and for them to push her, but unfortunately, this is a setback for her, and
another setback.
I really don't know. I mean, I hate to say it, I don't think we're going to see her on the main roster anytime soon.
No. Most likely not. Most likely not.
Yeah.
Man, that's a damn shame. I mean, with how over she's gotten in recent months, that's a damn shame. All right. Bear with me for just a moment. I'm just trying to find the just want to set the table for next week's show. From what I'm hearing, I don't believe I think they're no longer going to be using the center stage in Atlanta because I heard something about a permit issue kept them from using that venue. So, but anyways, all right. So let's look at what we have on tap for next week's show. So there's gonna you could pretty much consider this a championship type match, a championship type night. But here we go, guys. In no particular order. Women's speed number one contenders match: Blake Monroe versus Thea Hale. Jasper Troy, Elio LaFleur, Eli Knight triple threat match with a 7-minute time limit for the men's speed championship. Dark State to defend the tag team championship against Swipe Right. JC Jane will defend the women's championship against Soluruka. And one other match has been set up, and I'm not going to give that away because it has a tie-in to our main event of the evening. Main event of the evening, it is for the North American Championship. Ethan Page defending against Shiloh Hill. Winner of the match, 12 minutes and 27 seconds, and still the North American champion. It is Ethan Page. But then after the match was over, Miles Bourne comes out, and Miles Bourne attacks Ethan Page. And he goaded Ethan Page into giving him a title shot. And that's the other match. Next week, Ethan Page will defend the North American Championship against Miles Bourne. But Miles Bourne wraps Ethan Page's ankle in a steel chair, stomps on it, and holds up the title. I think we're looking at booking 101 in that scenario. So, but anyways, Ethan wins the match in 12:27. I don't know who's supposed to start this off, guys. Who's supposed to start this one off? Anybody? I got a little caught up in all the excitement here. So, I want to say,
I think it's me.
yeah, okay, Bullock. We'll start it with you here. Ethan Page successfully defends the North American title over Shiloh Hill, 12:27, but then got attacked by Miles Bourne. Bourne goads him. And next week, Ethan Page, Miles Bourne for the North American Championship. But I think we saw another instance of booking 101 here.
Yeah, Ethan Page is going to retain next week. I mean, as much as I really want to see Miles Bourne get the big moment and become the North American champion, I just don't see it happening now after what we saw. So,
Nope.
So look, love the kid, but after what happened, ain't gonna happen. Ethan Page's reign will continue. So
Yes, it will.
I'll give this about another about 3.25, 3.5 for this. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Florio.
Yeah, about 3.5 stars or so. I'll tell you what, solid matchup here. And Ethan Page retaining the title, and he sets a new record for most successful title defenses of the North American Championship. So, so congrats to him on that. So, and now he gets to extend his own record against Miles Bourne next week. 3.5 stars. MF, Ethan Page, still the NXT North American champion. He defeats Shiloh Hill in 12:27. MF, your thoughts? MF, are you there? All right. I think MF might have stepped away for a moment, so we'll await his return. But um, but yeah, there is one other piece of business that I'm going to address as soon as we're done with this. I should have started the show with it. The results of the TNA No Surrender show just came to me, so I'll get into that as soon as we're done with this review here. So I'll do a quick run through of that. So, but yeah, while we await MF to return here, um, I will I'll go ahead and get started on the overall review here. So yeah, I'll tell you what. One of the highlights was that 3-minute speed match. I'll tell you, and even with that big decision by Mr. Stone at the end. Elio LaFleur and Eli Knight are both trying to make their mark as newcomers to NXT, and they put on an exciting bout that left the crowd wanting more. The main event with Ethan Page and Shiloh Hill was decent, but it lacked any level of unpredictability. The show ended with Ethan Page telling Miles Bourne he could have a title shot next week as long as he doesn't break his ankle. Bourne stomped on it anyway. So, right around that 6.5 to 7 out of 10 threshold, if I'm going to be honest with you. So, but next week's show looking really good. It was supposed to be at the center stage in Atlanta, Georgia, but I heard they ran into some permit issues or something like that. So I think it's going to be back at the CWC next week. So, so we'll see how that goes, but it looks like a good show. I mean, so we'll see how that plays out. But 6.5 to 7 for me. So MF, if you're back in, let's get your thoughts. Let's get your quick thoughts on the main event: Ethan Page defeating Shiloh Hill in 12:27, and then your overall thoughts on tonight's show.
3.25 stars is my rating for the match, and then it's a 7 out of 10 for the overall review. I thought they did a fine job. Really, nothing more to add on that. So, yeah, let's move on.
And Michael Bullock, your overall thoughts, and then I'll do the quick rundown of the TNA No Surrender.
Yeah, 6.5 to 7 for me as well when it comes to this. So, yeah, I thought they did a good job. So there's really nothing more to say. So let's get to your quick review of TNA No Surrender.
Well, it's not a review. I'm just giving the results. So, TNA No Surrender that went down this past Friday night from the Pinnacle in Nashville, Tennessee, exclusively on the TNA Plus app. And let's get the results here. There were 2 pre-show matches. First, we had Sinner and Saint, Judas Icarus, and Travis Williams. They went up against Brad Attitude and TW3. Sinner and Saint win that match in 6 minutes and 50 seconds. And Frankie Kazarian one-on-one with Alan Angels. Frankie Kazarian wins that match in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Main card. Knockouts Battle Royal for a future Knockouts Championship match. The winner of that Battle Royal, Jody Threat. Jody Threat wins the Battle Royal in 7 minutes and 54 seconds. She will get a shot at the Knockouts Championship down the road. TNA International Championship on the line. The champion, Channing Stacks Lorenzo, with his fiancee Ariana Grace in his corner. He defended against Trey Miguel, and in Trey Miguel's corner, one of the biggest stars in music today, Teddy Swims. Yeah, Teddy Swims in Trey Miguel's corner. I guess he proved to be a good luck charm because the winner of the match in 10 minutes and 57 seconds and the new TNA International Champion, Trey Miguel, wins the title. So, as MF and Gorilla would say, history was made, unprecedented crowning. What a moment for Trey Miguel after everything he's been through, especially that whole AEW debacle. Yeah, good for him. Mance Warner squared off against Action Mike Jackson, 76-year-old Action Mike Jackson. Mance Warner winning the match, 5 minutes and 22 seconds. It looked like they were teasing a Mance Warner babyface turn there at the end of that. Elegance brand, Heather and M by Elegance. They defended the Knockouts Tag Team Championships against Indy Hartwell and Zaya Brookside. Winners of the match, 11 minutes and 10 seconds, and still the Knockouts Tag Team Champions. It is the Elegance brand. Of course, a lot of interference by the Elegance brand. The personal concierge, George Iceman, Ash by Elegance, and of course, Mr. Elegance. But then we had a surprise at the end of the match.
Hardcore Country.
Yes, sir. Hardcore Country. And yes, MF, one of your all-time favorites, if not your all-time favorite, Mickie James. Mickie James comes in and she goes to town on Ash by Elegance. So looks like they're teasing a Mickie James and Ash by Elegance match down the road. So looks like Mickie James might be going for one more run in TNA. So boy, was that a pleasant surprise. Nobody saw that coming. Eric Young one-on-one with BDE. Eric Young wins the match 10 minutes and 59 seconds. Lei Ying Lee defending the Knockouts Championship against Ariana Grace. Channing Stacks Lorenzo in her corner. Winner of the match, 13 minutes and 25 seconds. And new TNA Knockouts champion, Ariana Grace, wins the Knockouts Championship by using her father's Cobra. Yeah, the history was made, but we're not going to call that an unprecedented crime.
Yeah, and Santino was not happy about that at all.
No, he was not. He tried to confront Ariana in the back, but Daria Ray, the suit, got involved in that. So you know how that turned out.
Yeah, she's being that heel authority figure.
Like we saw in WWE with Adam Pearce years ago. So, but anyways, 8-man tag team match. All 4 members of the Order 4, Mustafa Ali, Jason Hotch, John Schuyler, and Special Agent Zero, they went up against the Hardys and the Righteous. And Order 4 wins the match in 14 minutes and 52 seconds. And then the main event of the evening, the TNA Heavyweight Champion Mike Santana teaming up with the X Division Champion Leon Slater. They went up against Nick Nemeth and Eddie Edwards. Mike Santana, Leon Slater win the match in 23 minutes and 19 seconds. And that's your No Surrender rundown. And that will put the bow on this latest edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We will be back with you again on Thursday night here on the Tone 25 for a special edition of TXN Sports World, the premiere of our regulation shows. And we're going to start it off with a bang. We are going to break down every nook and cranny there is of NBA All-Star Weekend, the Rising Stars game, All-Star Saturday, and the NBA All-Star game itself. We'll get into all of that on Thursday night. And then Friday night, MF will have it, Braves Fan 95, the Cerebral Smack Talk, TNA Impact, and Friday Night SmackDown. And that is that. And then 1 week from tonight, we do it all over again, Ridiculously Raw, right here on the Tone 25. Monday Night Raw, the final show before the Elimination Chamber, and NXT as always. So that's it. So until Thursday night, for TXN Sports World, this is Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, always and forever, our First Lady, the one and only Twisted Angel Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw the Fortune Forest style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Wednesday and then have a blessed couple of days. And until Thursday night, for TXN Sports World, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and Streamy.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody. Bye.